This is my 2000 Lexus LX470, and today I'm going to be giving the rear end a refresh by replacing the control arms, rear sway bar end links, and any other pieces of rubber I can find. Let's get into it. So to start off on why I'm replacing some of the control arms and pieces of rubber in the rear is this sway bar end link. I noticed a clunking noise in the back, and when I went to go look at it, the rubber has completely split, causing the retainer to fall down. I'm pretty sure that I can take this off here and here on the frame. However, I really don't want to snap any bolts in the frame, so I'm probably just going to cut it off with a grinder. Let's go ahead and get this out first. Give it back. Like I said, that just broke off. Give it back. Guess the bolt took my socket. So now I'm going to go ahead and attempt to get this off right here. I have my doubts, and we'll probably just cut it off. I'll give it a shot with some PB Blaster here, like that. Let's see if that loosened it up. And it's just bending the shaft. So let me get the grinder and we'll do this the proper way. So I made some progress with the angle grinder, but it seems that the head of my angle grinder keeps bumping into this, so I'm going to try using the Sawzall. Yeah, that worked. Alrighty, no big deal, got it out. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and get this bushing out, as the kit that I ordered came with new bushings. Little shim. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and get this bushing out. I'm gonna try prying it out first before I get the flame. And it's pretty dry rotted, it might just come out. Oh, came out much easier than I thought. Let's go ahead and get the new one in. I'm gonna see if I can put some silicone spray on this bushing here to make it go in a bit easier. Oh, it's going. There we go. Just like that, it's in. Now we can put our little shim in. I'm also going to put some silicone spray on this. Guess the other piece of the end link fell out. So I should have just thought about that beforehand. I guess I just didn't think about it, but taking your screwdriver and just rolling it around like this helps to seat everything. Make sure everything's okay. And now our end link just slides on like that. So here we have our new end link. I'm going to take this top nut off so I can slide it through. The order of which it goes on is retainer, bushing, retainer. Then the bottom retainer for this bushing here is this bracket. Okay, so that's loosely in place. I'm going to go ahead and put the retainer, the nut, and the washer on here. So I've tightened this up as tight as it'll go without compressing the rubber too much. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try to manipulate this sway bar so I can get our new bolts in and our cotter pin. So I jacked up the car on the rear pinion a little bit just to align the sway bar and the end link, and it seems to be going in now. Yeah, almost. Alrighty, it's in. I jacked up the car a little bit and then lowered it, and it seemed to kind of work itself out. I'll do the final torque of this bolt once the car is completely on the ground, so the weight is transferred to the sway bar end link and everything's happy. Therefore, it won't destroy the rubber bushing. We can, at least for now, put our nut on. Alrighty, I think we're done with the sway bar end links. I won't make you guys watch the other side. So now that I've gotten both the sway bar end links installed, I'm going to go ahead and torque it to spec. The torque spec is 20 Newton meters, and they specifically say to torque by the nut right here. Now we can go ahead and slide our cotter pin in. I'm actually just going to scoot this up just a little bit more so I can slide it in. You never want to loosen it to get your cotter pin in. Alrighty, and now we can move on to the next suspension item. Alrighty, it's been a couple days and my rear upper and lower control arms have come in. These two right here are the lowers and these two right here are the uppers. Now for the uppers, there is a side difference. I believe this side right here marked in blue is for the driver's side, as it has the protrusion for the ride height sensor on the active height control. Let's go ahead and get these installed. So this right here is the first nut that we have to get off. It's size 24 millimeters. Of course, the muffler right here is in the way, so I can't put my impact on it. I'm gonna see if I can break it loose with the breaker bar. All right, starting to come slowly but surely. Okay, so I guess the impact fits. Let me get a wrench to hold this nut on the back end. Okay, that came off, and I didn't snap it, so that's always good. Let's go ahead and push this out here. Got the washer off. Slowly moving. Moved it out a little bit more, starting to protrude a little bit. See if I can go ahead and keep knocking this one out. Oh, there we go, got it out. So I'm not really proud of how I got this bolt out, and it seems that I really damaged the threads there. I'm gonna have to go ahead and replace this bolt, so that might be the last thing I do. Next, we can go ahead and get this nut off here for the upper control arm on the passenger side. Alright, got it broken free. I don't think I can get my impact in here.
I think you see a better angle with the impact.
Yeah. Got it. Almost. Got it. All right, this is our last bolt on the upper control arm. I have my breaker bar on the nut on the other side, and now I'm just going to use the impact to get it out. Alrighty, so I've gotten the lower control arm out and the upper control arm out on the passenger side. The bushings were cracked, however not too bad to the point where it was clunking or rattling. It's just good maintenance at this point to replace it. Alrighty, let's try to slide in our new upper control arm here without removing the entire exhaust. I don't really want to do that. Okay, let's put our first bolt in. So we got one in. Can go ahead and clip in our ABS wire here to the bracket. And now we can get our other bolt in. And I will torque that to spec after the rest of the arms are in. Let's go ahead and get the lower control arm in. So for the lower control arm, there's this side that has a painted white mark, and the bushing is a little bit different as it has these two cavities right here. This has to go on the rear where it connects to the axle. Now we can get it connected to the frame on the upper side. So here's where it connects right here. I'm noticing that when I try to slide this in, it doesn't fully align right here. I'm gonna see if I can put a ratchet strap on the rear axle and tie it to the frame and kind of bring it closer so it aligns properly. All right, so I have a ratchet strap on it right here. I'm gonna keep cranking on it and hopefully the strap doesn't come and hit me in the face. Slowly getting there, it's getting there. Almost there, really close. All right, so I've jacked the car up a little bit on the wheel, which I'm trying to get this on. It gave me a little bit more slack in my rope. I'm pretty close here, maybe one or two more clicks with the ratchet strap and I should be able to just slide this bolt in. I also should note that I went to my dealer and got a new bolt as the other one had completely shredded threads, so that's on me. Whew, got it. So I'll leave that finger loose and then of course torque that with the weight of the car on the ground. Here, I'll show you the setup I have right here. So I have the ratchet strap tied around the rear wheel right there, making sure not to pinch any brake lines. And then I tied it to the frame up here. And I tied it to the frame up here and around the frame box as well right here. All right, I'm on the driver's side now. I'm gonna go ahead and show this to you guys as the upper control arm is a little bit different as it has the protrusion for the active height control arm. I already got the nut off with my impact and now I'm just gonna use my ratchet strap here to try and pull the rear axle a little bit closer so I can get this bolt out without destroying the threads. I might have to jack up the rear axle a bit as well. Let's see. All right, got that loose there. Now let's go ahead and get it loose from the rear axle side. Let's go ahead and get this nut off here for the lower control arm so we can completely remove it. So we got our nut off, our washer, and our bolt, and in undamaged condition. And here's our arm now. I'm gonna go ahead and put our new arm on without taking the upper control arm off. I think that's how things got misaligned last time. Let's go ahead and get this in on this side and then we'll go to the frame and tighten it there. Alrighty, it's finger loose for now. Let's go ahead and get it tightened on the other side. Alright, now we're on the frame side. Let's go ahead and put this bolt in. So I've tightened up the ratchet strap a little bit more, and I jacked up the side of the axle that I'm trying to get this bolt in. Let's see if it slides in now. Like butter. And we'll torque that with the weight of the car on the ground. Now let's go ahead and get this nut off here for the upper control arm. I'm gonna use the impact and a swivel socket. Let's hopefully not snap anything. All right. So that came off. Let's go ahead and get our washer. And there is a little retainer bracket for the ABS wire. I feel like that's gonna snap right there. So I'm gonna see if I can work around it. So I wasn't able to get the bolt to spin. I have my breaker bar on it here, and I'm gonna see if I can get it to spin without snapping, hopefully. All right, yeah, so it's loose now. Let's see how we can get this out. Let's see. So I got this bolt up here loosened up. I'm just gonna slide it out. I was also able to get the other side loose. That was quite an ordeal as the fuel tank prevents any tool from getting on there. It's quite difficult to get off. Let's see if I can just bend this bracket out of the way a little bit and slide this out. I'm actually going to go ahead and disconnect the leveling link for the active height control real quick. Ah, won't come out. Come on. Oh. Finally. Got it out. Now let's get our arm out. Oh. And there we go. One stuck in rusted control arm. Finally out. Last one. So examining the control arms I just took out, we can see that this one right here is probably about the worst. Probably would have still went for another 10 or 20,000 miles, but kind of while I'm here and have time, thought I'd just replace it. The lowers weren't too bad, just some minor cracking on both ends. I think the uppers actually took the worst of it. Let's go ahead and put the new arms on. Alright, that's finger tight. Let's go ahead and get the other side on. I might have to use the ratchet strap to pull the axle so where it lines up with the bolt holes. So here we are on the car side. I have my ratchet strap in place right here, and I'm just getting this bolt through. Now we can put our washer and our nut on. Next, we can go ahead and mount our lower control arm. Now we can put our washer and nut on. Alrighty, for our last bolt here, I have the car jacked up right there, and I have my ratchet strap. Been kind of jacking it and tightening the ratchet strap little by little until it goes in, and I think I got it here. And once again, our washer and our nut. And I think we're done here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the car, and then we can start torquing stuff. The last thing we have to do before torquing is to first reconnect our ABS sensor right here and set our height on the leveling link for the active height control. Now I took a picture of mine before I took it off and it was right in the middle, so that's where I'm going to place it. Now that this is all nice and tight, we can get to torquing. So here we are back under the car. Now it's time to torque everything to spec. I actually drove the car around the block once or twice to let all the suspension and bushing settle, so everything is at the right preload. The torque spec for all 8 nuts is 111 foot-pounds or 150 newton meters. Alright, so that's our first lower control arm done. Let's try and get the upper control arm done. So for this bolt here, I'm not able to get my torque wrench on it. I'm gonna probably just give it a Guten tight with my ratchet and maybe hit it on the lower setting with the impact. Let's see how I feel. Alrighty, I'm gonna call this job done here. It actually isn't too hard. Well, okay, it's quite a bit of work if you don't have a lift like I did, and if your car is rusty and crusty like mine is. I'm gonna keep driving the car and see if any new noises come back, but I think I should be good here. If I screwed or messed anything up while working on this vehicle, feel free to let me know in the comments, as I always enjoy learning. Thank you so much for watching. If it helped, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.